Hello, YouTube land, and welcome to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 49, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Of course, I am your host, Dantes, and joining me, like always, in this beautiful, beautiful night, Caleones. How you doing, Caleones? And shout out to Dig. How you doing, Caleones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? How you doing, everybody? How you doing, Dig? And yeah, just very excited about today's getting and get out. We're gonna be doing kind of like a recap of everything that happened during the E3 for Nintendo. The games that they showed and what we thought about the good and the bad that came out of it. So Dantes, go ahead and take it away.
Let's do that quickly. Hey, Evans, what up? Toys and More, what up? Let's do that quick rigmarole quickly so we can get into the news because we got a lot to talk tonight, Caleones. Of course, before I say my rigmarole, is that guy 69. 69 has joined the chat. But with that said, let's do that rigmarole with. I want to welcome everybody to the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 49, right here at the Force In Unison gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe. Guys, like this video. Let's get it up. And comment so you can make these two crazy MFs happy. Also, remember, you can get that podcast, or this podcast, of course, on SoundCloud and iTunes for free. And rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, hey, we have a Facebook page, Caleones, and it's called at Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, Caleones, are you ready? I said... Prisham, brother, are you ready? For the no one in attendance and the 9 people watching around the world, sweet. Let's get ready for Reggie's Hot Topics of the Week.
My body is ready.
My body's ready. Take it away, Caleones. So what is our first topic of the night, baby?
Okay, so of course, yes, we said we're going to be talking about E3, talking about Nintendo, and this one is the E3 2018. The Synthesio report says Sony is getting the most chatter on social media, closely followed by Nintendo. So they had, kind of like a pie chart on here, telling the percentages of how much mentions in social media each respective company had, and based on all the different conferences that they had. So, for example, Sony was first with 26.16%, Nintendo second with 22.56%. Then you had CD Projekt Red, 11.27%, Capcom, 11.12%, Microsoft with 10.38%, Ubisoft with 9%, Activision, 5.37%, Take-Two with 2.09%, and Electronic Arts with 2.05%. So, like I said, Sony came in at first place, but Nintendo was a close second. So, what do you say about this? What is your takeaway from this, Dantes?
So we're gonna go into package this because right after this news, we're gonna go into the next hot topic, which is basically what we like about Nintendo's E3 and what we didn't like. So we'll do this news and then we'll go straight to why we feel Nintendo did a good job in social media. Of course, Smash is big. Smash is Smash. But I would say this. Remember, this is chatter on social media. So it means if you do something controversy, you could maybe getting a lot of attractions. And Sony's, you have to give credit, I guess. Lesbian kiss was a big topic. And I'm telling you because as E3, you go through the forums, you go through everything. And wow, they were talking a lot about that. So, again, I think Sony got their bang for the buck, showing that controversial moment in The Last of Us 2. At the same time, give credit to Sony. The gameplay on Last of Us was amazing. The gameplay in Spider-Man was amazing. The gameplay in Ghost of Tsushima was really good. I'm not going to say amazing, but I would say really good. And we still don't know what the hell Death Stranding is. And at this point, I really don't care. But Nintendo, good social media because Fortnite came out. Over 2 million users downloaded Fortnite, which is one of the small news that we have later on tonight. We also had the blowout for Smash. Nintendo kept the presence through the whole days with the Treehouse, showing a lot of content in the Treehouse that people like me learn more about stuff that I'm really excited now about, thanks to the Treehouse, right? And at the same time, you have your championships. You have the Smash championship, Splatoon championship. Our tournament was better, but they had the Splatoon championship. So again, Nintendo is making E3 not so much more about an announcement, but like an event. Like they're working in a way that they can keep interaction going with fans. Last year, they did it with the Nintendo World Championships. So you can see how Nintendo is saying, no, we're going to create special events that's more important to us. And then the Treehouse showed really the gameplay. I know we're going to go into more in depth, but I want to let Caleones, comment on this news, what he thinks, why the results came. Oh, and one last piece I want to say. Tomorrow, tune in, because tomorrow we're going to talk about all three conferences at the same time, and there's going to be a Royal Rumble. But Caleones and I agree that Microsoft did a better job. They won E3. So you surprised to see this low interaction for Microsoft when they knock it out of the park. But why is that? Tune in tomorrow to find out why we think that is the case. But, Caleones, go ahead and give it your opinion.
Well, I guess, like you said, some of those things, we're going to be discussing them tomorrow, especially when we start pitting Sony against Microsoft, against Nintendo, and how each one did. We're going to break it down, and we're going to offer, not only of what really happened, but certain things that we believe, could have, complemented or in a way helped out, like you said. For example, let's take Sony. So Sony, you were talking about the Kiss. And yes, that's a lot. That's one that took, had a lot of traction. A lot of people were talking about it, some in a positive ways, others in a not so much, positive way. So that was, one of, the big ones on there. Also, I guess as far as Nintendo, and something that I did mention as well, one of the reasons why you could say that Nintendo didn't really have or was up there, and you could technically make a case that they could have been first place, is that if this is talking about this, social interactions, mentions and things like that. So of course, Sony had a head start because they started the day before in Monday, and Nintendo had their direct on Tuesday. So Sony had a whole, a complete day for people to digest their direct, to talk about it and all of that. And Nintendo had to wait until the next day. So yes, I guess it's kind of Nintendo's fault because they always wait to be the last one to make an announcement, and that's how they've always done it. But something that we're going to touch tomorrow is maybe Microsoft should be concerned because they came with a 10.38% and they started on a Sunday. But we're not going to talk about that here because we want to concentrate on the Nintendo aspect of it. But I believe that they did what they were supposed to do. I may not have agreed with everything that they did or how they handle certain things, but something that Nintendo really did was, talk about their game, their biggest game over and over again, give it the most exposure, and it lasted a lot longer than we would have preferred. And if you guys go back to see our videos about the live stream from the Direct, you can probably see it in our faces when we start saying that, hey, it's dragging on and it's going on, and they're still talking about it. And when we feel that it's going to be over, they talk about something new. So it really did drag on from the Nintendo conference itself. So about the Direct, the Nintendo Direct was 42 minutes long. Okay. And when you say 42 minutes long and you compare to other directs, you're like, okay, whoa, 42 minutes. So that's going to be a long time that they're going to be in. So that's a lot of games that they're going to be announcing. So if they have the rapid fire direct like they usually do on other months, that means that they have so many reveals, so many games that they're going to be showing.
So Caleones, let's do this because I think you're getting into what we didn't like about Direct or the Nintendo E3. So keep it. I want you to talk about it for sure. But then with that, I already showing some Smash gameplay. So you guys can see all the 25 minutes of Smash gameplay. Hopefully Nintendo won't shut us down. But to talk about what we thought about, what we like and what we did not like about Nintendo this year's E3. So I will start, Caleones. And the first thing, and you know where I'm going straight out, first out of the gate, is I did not know how big that expansion DLC was going to be for Xenoblade Chronicles. Torna, the Golden Country, it almost feels like a standalone game, and it is a standalone game. You can buy this game physical. They made enough changes where a new world to explore, new gameplay mechanics, new music, everything like they would do for a whole new game, Caleones, and they're doing it. It's almost feels like Xenoblade 2.5, right? And at the same time, you know, you say to yourself, you can get that game physical too. You can have the box, you can buy it, and you don't need to download it. But still, it also gives a lot of bang for your buck, Caleones, on the expansion pack. If you're doing an expansion pack like this is the first time, I think, in my opinion, Nintendo is doing DLC right. And what I mean with that, not before, I think they did it pretty well with Mario Kart or with a Smash, the older Smash. There's some choke right there in the screen right now. Some Smash is that you could have all those characters, and there was enough that you could buy them individually, and you can keep expanding your roster, which is fine. They then tried the Season Pass with Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think that was a fail. There was still good enough stuff in there that I enjoyed it and liked it. It made me play even more hours about Zelda Breath of the Wild, so I did not mind it. But I don't think it justified a Season Pass. This, Caleones, justifies a Season Pass. This is how you do it. It is basically a complete new game. And Nintendo, you can't see it right now because I got gameplay going on in the background. I'm throwing money right now at the screen at you, because I'm there. I'm going to buy it again. I don't care because I want to support Xenoblade Chronicles, and fans should do the same. If you feel strong enough like I feel and you're a collector like I am, I'm going to buy the physical, even though I already spent money on the Season Pass. And I don't care, Caleones, because at the same time, I feel that there's enough content that I'm more gladly pay $60 together with the challenge mode now, having Shulk and Fiora just there. You know how a fan of the original Xenoblade Chronicles I am, and just having them as Blades, it's just like a dream come true. And of course, listening to Adam Howell just doing again the voice of Choke, slam dunk, Caleones. And then you have this monster expansion pack. This is Witcher 3 type of expansion pack right here, Caleones. So I'm good, dude. And so I spoke a lot about it. I am really excited about it. And then what we'll do is we'll let Caleones speak for what he's excited for, but also let him speak for what I just said. So go straight, Caleones. Give your opinion on what I said, and then go straight to your first most exciting thing, or what do you like the most during this year's Nintendo E3?
Okay, so, well, I guess in regards to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 expansion, one thing I'm going to ask you is, as I know that you're, one of the biggest fans of Xenoblade there is, bar none. So, of course, anything that they produce, as long as it's, good quality content, you're going to get it, you're going to support it, you're going to get the expansions and all of it. But my question is, do you feel any kind of disappointment that you didn't know they were going to do this, like a physical release for the expansion with the code included, because you already purchased the expansion, right?
Correct.
So you already put the money for the expansion, and now you're going to go out there and you're going to buy it again. So is that disappointing, or are you okay with it? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's a little bit disappointing as a physical collector. If you're a digital person, it doesn't matter. But as a physical collector like myself, it's a little bit disappointing, but I don't hate it, because you're always going to be in the side of the fence. Like, give you an example. Uncharted. A lot of people bought the Season Pass, or you want to call the DLC, or whatever you want to call it, right? Expecting the big ass DLC, and to clarify, they still got it. They still got it with the what was the name? Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, right? And then they came with the physical, because Naughty Dog just kept adding to the game, and the game became its own standalone game, and then you can buy it. And I, by luck, because I'm a fan of Uncharted, but Uncharted is fine. Naughty Dog is going to make their money, trust me. They just announced that Last of Us sold 17 million copies as of today. Naughty Dog is fine, trust me. They're not going anywhere. I need to support Xenoblade more. You have to do it 20 times, because I want to show Nintendo that this is a big franchise that you need to take care of, Caleones, right? Because I was really disappointed when Nintendo was really against bringing this franchise over here to the West. And thank God that they did. Now they're seeing that most of their fans is on the West. That's the funny part, right? They're making good money in this game with the fans on the West, not the fans on the East. So I feel, and you do that, Caleones. If you're a fan of something and you want to keep having those type of games, you need to show the developers support. And I want to show support to Monolith Soft. I want to show anything that they do support, because I think that's a great developer that Nintendo has, and I need to take care of them, because right now those guys are pumping out games with good quality really fast. Squaresoft needs to learn a little bit from them, but Squaresoft cares more about making the game look beautiful instead of just pulling out the game. But anyway, with all that said, though, I'm not disappointed. I'm fine with it. I want to support them. It's another sale, fine. I think the expansion is big enough that I think it's worth the $60, Caleones. And since I'm buying it again, in a sense, and I'm more than happy, like we talked, I want to give you the code too, because I don't want to throw it away. I want you to enjoy it too, and you know, it's just, I think again it's worth it. I want to show the love and support to Xenoblade. I think that's enough Xenoblade discussion. But go ahead, Caleones, with your first exciting thing.
Well, I mean, the last thing I wanted to say about the expansion is, I guess it feels a little bit like you say, like the Lost Legacy, because I'm pretty sure when Naughty Dog started working on that expansion, they said, okay, so yeah, we're probably going to create a storyline, and the story is probably going to take an additional 5 hours, 10 hours, or something like that, and that's going to be, you know, for a DLC. But then the game kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I believe that's the same thing that happened with the expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, that it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it pretty much became its own game. So what I'm fearful is that I hope Nintendo is able to promote the game so people know that they can go ahead and go out and buy that expansion as a standalone game, so that they don't need the first game in order to get the second game if they get the physical version for it. So I think that's going to be the hardest thing for Nintendo to do. They need to let everybody know that it is a standalone game.
Agreed.
Even if you haven't purchased the first one, you can go ahead and get this one, then get the other one. But
there's some spoilers. It's still better that you play the original first if you can. But if you're just interested in this new one because it's shorter, it's smaller, you know, I'm fine with that. Hey, whatever you guys need to do to support this game. But go ahead, Caleones. Let's go with your first exciting thing, or what do you like about Nintendo's this year E3?
Well, okay, so the biggest surprise for me, and that was before the Nintendo conference, was when we weren't even at the Nintendo conference. We were over at the Ubisoft conference, and they were showing Starlink and, you know, Battle for Atlas, and yeah, you had the gameplay. They were showing how the ships, you know, fly. They were, you know, saying the game was going to come out this year, but then they had like one of those and one more thing kind of moments where they said, okay, so this is one more trailer we're going to show. They showed it. It was you know, somebody in a spaceship, a female in a spaceship. She was asking for help, and then she started receiving those, you know, communication sounds that sounded similar to something, but you weren't expecting it, so you didn't know what it was at first. So then it changes over to reveal that it is Fox McCloud in the Arwing in the game, and that's when I lost it a little, because I mean, Star Fox is a franchise that they need more exposure. They need better care, because, you know, Star Fox Zero did not do it any justice. And Ubisoft, after they showed it and they went into, you know, more in depth with the gameplay, and the next day at the Nintendo Treehouse, they showed additional gameplay as well, and the game looks amazing. I'm glad that you can play the entire game as, you know, Fox McCloud on the on the Arwing, and that like everybody, like the whole crew is there with you, to support you. And there's exclusive missions, story missions that tell you why they're there, how come, they're part of that, that world. And I just couldn't be happier. That was a great reveal. And of course, when they invited Miyamoto to the stage to give him the replica of the R-Wing from the game, that was great. So I really enjoyed that portion.
Cool. I don't have much to say, Caleones. I'm not a huge Star Fox fan. I like Star Fox. I don't mind it. I love the Star Fox N64 game. I mean, that was good memories right there. But Star Fox has taken a dip in quality with the last couple of years, which sucks. I'm hopeful they can find a new developer. Maybe Retro should have been doing a full Star Fox adventure. We put it that way. But new developer that really makes quality, and they stop with the gimmicks. You just want a really good Star Fox game. But I seen your excitement and this, and that means that the relationship that Ubisoft and Nintendo have has been really good. Again, I always say Nintendo, use third-party developers with your IPs. Those people will be more than happy, and that shows us with the Mario, the Mario and Rabbids game, right? It shows that if you give those IPs, those developers are like, damn, yeah, hell yeah, give it to me. We're willing to do it. And
you saw him last year.
Sorry?
I mean, the guy was shedding tears when Miyamoto was invited to the stage last year at the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle reveal. The guy from the Ubisoft developer was crying. So that's how much people outside of Nintendo,
they love
worship those franchises.
Yeah.
So they I mean, any chance, they'll take it. I mean, if they get a chance to work on it.
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. Nintendo should take advantage of that excitement, right? And you're gonna get more exclusives. That means Nintendo don't have to develop every game. You see what I'm saying? Leave Nintendo to develop new, exciting IPs and give a chance to other developers to see what they would do with your existing IPs. You see what I'm saying? And that could be a win-win for. So I'm happy with this game, and I'm happy the continued relationship with Ubisoft and Nintendo. So we're good with this, Caleones. Now we're going to the bad side of it. So we did the first good. We have to do a bad, Caleones. So bad for me was no Metroid Prime 4 on the E3 stage or mention at all. So here's what I mean. Then I'm going to give a little bit of shit to you Nintendo fans. Sony gets blamed that they show games too early. That's true. I'm not going to deny that. I always say that that's wrong. I'm already like tired of seeing Death Stranding. So that's how bad it is when you show a game too many times, or you just show trailers and that don't make sense, and then when you finally show gameplay, you're like, really? So I know that you could have some fatigue for showing the game too much, right? Too early. Now Microsoft, again, which is kind of like a little bit hypocrite over the companies, because they say the same thing. To clarify, Microsoft was saying just months ago, oh, we don't like to show games too early. We just want to wait and show games when they need to be. But then, okay, because they learn from Scalebound, okay? But then they show just a CG trailer for Halo. Isn't that really showing the game early when you have basically nothing to show? And then Nintendo, last year, to beef up their Direct, because now you have to think about their E3 presentation in the long term. Does that E3 presentation hold on in the future? I'll give you an example. 2014 or 2015, I don't remember which year, was the year that Sony showed Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue 3. And a lot of people said Sony won that E3 because they show those two games. Those games are not even out yet. So at this time, those games are really taking a toll in that E3, where now Sony E3 on that year doesn't look that strong. Looks weak.
Yeah, or not close to being out. I mean,
no.
That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, no close to be out. Not nothing. Like nothing. Like Square showed a shitty ass good trailer, but the trailer lied to you. Basically, Square is a master of that. That's why I don't believe in their trailers anymore. They show a trailer that you thought that the game was more advanced than it was, and it is not. They started the project from scratch again, Caleones. And the same with Shenmue. Shenmue is moving along faster. Shenmue 3 will be coming out, and that's understandable. I mean, it's a game that is backed up by the fans, so it's gonna take a little bit more time. Sega's not putting that much money on it, so you know what I'm saying. I understand that, and I'll give a pass to Shenmue because it's basically an independent game being done. But still, it hasn't come out. This is the truth. It hasn't come out, so it really hurts the E3 for Sony. Now, last year's Nintendo, we gave it props to Nintendo because they say, oh my God, Metroid Prime 4, yeah! It was just a JPEG, and I made fun of the JPEG, but now the JPEG is looking really bad, Caleones. It's really looking bad. Don't show a JPEG. I'm telling you right now, no, I don't care about the company. Don't ever again show a damn JPEG if the next year you're not ready to show really good gameplay, because now Nintendo is saying, oh, wait, we're not ready to show the game. That means that game was not even close, Caleones, to be shown. So why did Nintendo do that? I don't get it. Where Nintendo, compared to the three companies, tend to hold more back instead of doing stuff like that. And I know I give shit to Nintendo for Breath of the Wild, but at least Breath of the Wild, you could see the advancement, but it still took a long time for that game to come out. So to me, that's a big hit, Caleones. Not showing Metroid Prime takes away from last year E3 by just showing that damn JPEG. And it is what it is. And of course, in the future, it'd be nice to go back one day and just review the E3 conferences with the perspective of what happened now or next. You see what I'm saying? That'd be an interesting way. It's interesting series if we ever do something like that. But it just takes away from the last year's E3. But still excited for Metroid Prime. Just disappointed they did not show anything on it. Anyway, Caleones, go ahead. Anything to say about that, and then you can go into your first most disappointing thing that Nintendo did. And it seems like we're taking a lot of good discussions, so we're going to keep it 3-3. 3 exciting things and 3 bad things because we're already 25 minutes in. But this is good discussion, so go ahead, Caleones.
Well, I mean, yes, I was disappointed as well with the Metroid Prime, being completely absent. And I guess, Reggie's comment, like you said, about, they're just not ready to show it. But, I mean, I don't know, I don't think that they really needed to show Metroid Prime 4 last year during E3.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't really needed. Unless, of course, we're going to start seeing gameplay, and the game had a chance of being released this year. So, I mean, in retrospective, maybe they should not have, showed it at all. Another game that they had, that they really didn't really show was when the president of the Pokemon company, remember that he was on there and he was just talking, saying, hey, we're working on a new Pokemon game and we're going to be releasing it. We're working on it and blah, blah, blah. So they didn't show any Pokemon game, but, he was talking about there being a Pokemon game. So it's kind of like the same thing as Metroid Prime showing the title, the logo, because they didn't really have anything else to show. But we really did get another Pokemon game. We're getting the Pokemon Let's Go. We got the Pokemon free-to-play game or free-to-start game that was released. And of course, they did announce that there's a new Pokemon game for next year as well. So at least they did have something. But I'll say my other biggest disappointment, and that's the one that I was talking before, is that it was a pretty good direct, the E3 one, until it got to Smash. And yes, it got to Smash. Everybody was, jumping, doing circles, cartwheels, whatever, celebrating. And 5 minutes into it, it looked awesome. But then 10 minutes later, they were still talking about Smash. 15 minutes later, it was still about Smash. 20 minutes later, it was still about Smash. 25 minutes later, it was still about Smash. And that was disappointing to me because I was looking at the direct as, okay, so we got 42 minutes. That's going to be more than enough time to show plenty of games. So that means that Nintendo has a lot to show. And 17 minutes into the direct is when the Smash information started. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so 17 minutes into it, they're showing Smash. They're talking about it. So that means that they're probably going to talk about Smash for 10 minutes. And then we're still going to have another 15 minutes or so of other game reveals. But that wasn't the case. They just continued talking about Smash. And not only did they talk for 25 minutes out of 42 on the direct about Smash Brothers Ultimate, then the Treehouse, it was like the Treehouse show Smash Brothers Ultimate, then they would swap to another game, then they will go back to Smash, then they will go to another game, then they will go back to Smash, and I believe it was overkill. Yes, Smash is one of the biggest games on the Switch, and that's a game that, yes, is going to move consoles. People are going to go out and buy it because there were people waiting for to see Smash just so they can buy the console. But I think that Nintendo overdid it, overdid is probably an understatement. That they could have done it a different way. By the end of it, I was just tired of Smash. Yes, I'm going to get it, but I just didn't really want to know anything else or see it, at least, for that day.
Mm-hmm. Nope. I agree 100% with everything that you stated, Caleones. It was tiresome. It was not the right place. Exactly what you stated before. They should have shown one trailer, 2 or 3 minutes. Go back to then the Treehouse. In the Treehouse, you can show all the techniques, all the stages, everything. Or you can even call it, Caleones, another idea would have been, you start the Treehouse, and then you announce, oh, tomorrow we're going to have a direct dedicated for Smash. So we're going to explain all the techniques, everything. Just be ready. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., right here at the Treehouse, we will be focused on a direct just for Smash. Something to that extent so you can promote it.
I can say, yeah, people would have lost it, like a back-to-back direct at E3.
Yeah.
I mean, people would have lost it, so that would have been an even better idea.
Correct. So I don't know. I'm with you 100%. It was disappointing. I'm still gonna get Smash. I'm the same as you. Game still looks good, but it was just an overkill. And again, expectations were high because a lot of people were saying, "Oh my God, 45 minutes, nice." You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, we're gonna have. It's gonna be even bigger than last year's, and last year was pretty good. We're gonna have some new announcements. Oh my God, and you start building hype in your head. So again, Nintendo, they struggle with flow on the conference. They started well, and then they ended bad. Reverse from Sony. They started bad, they ended well. And then, of course, Microsoft was more consistent throughout. But I agree 100%. But let's go into the positives. Caleones, back to the positives, what I'm excited about. Number 2 for me, right? I want to give props to this game. Demon X Machina, right? Game came out of left field, never expected it. I'm not a big mech guy, but I really love Xenoblade Chronicle X. And if you know, in that game, you go into mechs and you really explore the environment. If this game is a little bit semi-open, Caleones, that you can explore with your mechs areas and kind of have, it gave me that vibe from Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I'm all for it. I love Xenoblade Chronicles X. I like that. I'm interested. I'm wanting to see more. Hopefully, I'm right that it's semi-open. You know what I'm saying? It's you're gonna have a chance to customize your mech. You know, they're gonna have stats. You're gonna spend some money. You find resources in the world, so you can then make your mech stronger. X, Y, and Z. But I wanted to give a shout out. I know there's other stuff to be more excited, but I felt, you know me, Caleones, I like to give shine to those niche type of games because the other games are gonna get a lot of shine. I could have said, "Oh, I'm excited about Smash." All the stuff that I see, great. Everybody's excited about Smash. I want to give a shout out to games like this so people can support it and get more games like this because that only fills up the Nintendo library nicely, Caleones. And that's what we're here for. We're here to have some nice games on it. But anyway, and we're back. Oh, we didn't get shut down at no point in the stream. Thank you, Nintendo. You're doing better now. But I wanted to give a shout out to Demon X Machina, Caleones. Then go ahead with your opinion, and then of course go with your number 2 exciting thing Nintendo did this E3.
Okay, so I mean that was one of the ones I was going to mention because that to me that was it was a surprise of the direct, and that was the very first one. So I mean, Nintendo opened with a bang. The only downside to it is when I was looking at it and I saw the ending and I saw who was making it, which is Marvelous. And Marvelous is famous for the Senran Kagura games. So I was like, well, I mean, they're not really known for these type of games. So at least they're trying, they're giving it a go, and they're going for something different. So I'm glad they're doing it. So I mean, my excitement was tempered. I mean, I love mechs. I love those type of games. The action looked great, and I mean the game looked great. But by knowing the developers, they haven't really worked on this type of game. So I was like, okay, so it should be okay. But then I kind of remember the names on the back, the producer of the game, and people started talking about that portion, and they say, well, hold on, wait. The producer of the game is the same producer of the Armored Core games. And I'm like, oh wait, Armored Core. Okay, so so they have credibility. They have people working on it that they're very passionate about, mech games and things like that. So it's not just Marvelous making a mech game. It is the Armored Core people making a new game about mechs, and that, I mean, shut up my excitement, and I'm really looking forward to it. I did see some additional gameplay from the Treehouse. They show how you can customize, the driver, so you can customize, the pilot and kind of like changeman and all. Same thing with the mechs. You can do customizations, different weapons and things like that. So it seems like those aspects from Armored Core are going to be present in there. The game is going to be, I guess, a little more action than the Armored Core games, but it's still going to be. I mean, it's like they said, it was like a spiritual successor to it. So I'm very excited for it, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially after I knew that. So I was really happy with it. I guess another thing about the direct and Nintendo's presentation that I did enjoy is that they did I guess a pretty good not as good as last year's, and this is something that I know you're gonna mention. But again, they did a pretty good show showing different games. Different third-party games are gonna be available. Yes, everybody and their grandmother knew that Fortnite was gonna be releasing that same day. Same thing with Paladins. Paladin was gonna be another one that was gonna release. So Nintendo, because of the leaks, they missed out on two games that they were gonna be like and available now or available like right after the show. You can get this game, so they missed out on those, but I'm still gonna give them credit even though the game's leaked, because that's how they have planned it. And of course, I mean, everybody on our channel, it's either playing Splatoon 2 or Fortnite right now. Toys has been playing Fortnite for a while, on the Xbox, now on the Switch. And the biggest thing about it is that Nintendo has enabled voice chatting through the Nintendo Switch. So the only thing you need to do is just grab your headphone, plug it into the jack, and you can talk to other people, regardless if they're playing on the Switch, regardless if they're playing on PC, on the Xbox. You are able to talk with the people, so you don't need the whole mess that you need for like Splatoon 2 or something like that. So I'm glad they're doing it. Hopefully they'll do it for other games. And I know this is through Epic's servers that they're doing it, but I mean, if it's just plugging a headphone to the jack, I mean, anybody can do it. So hopefully Nintendo will do it and make it easier for other people. But I'm glad that those games came, that they were available that same day, and that they made available the updates to use the headphone jack for it. Something that I really wasn't expecting from Nintendo. It should have been from the beginning, but I'm glad that they're doing it.
Okay. I understand. I'm not a Fortnite fan, but I saw your excitement with you and your family and how they took the announcement. And I think it was an exciting announcement for that for Fortnite. I mean, Nintendo gets it. Everybody knew it was gonna happen. It was just how they're gonna announce it and when it's gonna happen, right? So, but I think it was a good announcement, Caleones. And again, you get the most popular game out there right now is Fortnite, and it makes sense to take it on the Switch, take it on the go, and then people can keep playing it. So Fortnite on the Switch, because it's an even better version than the mobile version, Caleones, right? Why? Who the hell wants to play with touch screens, touch buttons? You know what I'm saying? You get physical buttons with the Switch. Sweet. So that makes it the ultimate portable edition for Fortnite is the Switch version. So it's exciting to have. Hey, ex-gunner, yeah, drank beer, test fail. Yeah, well, last night, yeah, I did fail that test really badly anyway. Took me a whole day to recover. But anyway, with that said, let's go, because now we're 37 minutes in. Again, interesting conversation. So we're just going to do one more thing that we didn't like about the Direct, and then we're going to close out to our third thing that we dislike. So we're going to do 3 likes and 2 dislikes, basically, of the E3 calendar, just to give you a heads up, because we're 37 minutes in. So what I dislike about this Direct, Caleones, I guess, is the lack of surprises. And I always say at E3 is all about surprises. We knew, and the same thing hurts Sony. I'm not going to deny that, just to be clarified. Lack of surprises hurt. But at least, to Sony's defense, they did get some surprises, right? With the reveal of Control and Resident Evil 2 and stuff like that. They at least have some surprises. It felt that Nintendo's was the least of the 3 they had any surprises, right? And a simple surprise would have been, where in the hell is Spiral Trilogy on the Switch? That does not make sense. Aside that you would have helped me with my prediction, but did not. But where's stuff like that? And it felt, so I'm going to unite 2 just to merge it, because that was my next one. It felt that the third-party support for bigger companies was lacking in this Direct compared to last year. I'm just comparing to last year. Last year, you were like, oh my God, Doom. Oh my God, how they're doing. Oh my God. You didn't have that. Oh my God, how they're making this game fit on the Switch, right? Maybe it's because companies are still learning to use the Switch and they're still developing with it. Honestly, the Switch, and I'm not trying to give excuses. I'm not that type of guy. Let's take it easy. But the Switch has been only in the market for, 18 months right now. I don't know how many months, but companies still haven't got there to show maybe some other third-party stuff that you could be surprising. where Bethesda and Nintendo has a partnering relationship right now, where Nintendo is helping fund even this ports of these games, to clarify. So that's a different scenario.
And publishing as well.
And publishing as well. So you know what I'm saying, that it's there's a deal there going on. So where's those type of deals, Nintendo? Like that last year felt like I understand. You came in, you said we need to sell Switches. We have to put everything this year. Everything needs to show up. We need to look good everywhere, even E3. Nintendo, even on E3 that's why they showed that JPEG, because they're trying to say, we are here, the Switch is here to kick some ass. Now that the Switch is successful, is Nintendo going, oh, okay, let's lay back a little bit? Maybe not. Or Nintendo needs to start talking about those deals to bring third-party support, because Nintendo has to do it themselves sometimes. So my disappointing thing about this year's E3 compared to other years or last year is the lack of surprises and the lack of big third-party games. I thought about the indie side of it, but you changed my mind the day that we reviewed that conference live, where you said, well, they have the indies for that. And I said, yep, you're right, Caleones. I'm going to take that one out, because indies have carried the Switch really well in the first year. So I thought they needed more shine during E3. But you saw, you mentioned, no, but Nintendo has their indies. And I said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to step back on that one. So I left it with this two. I guess you could call it one or two, but they're hand to hand. But anyway, that was my most disappointed. Caleones, go ahead, your opinion, and then, of course, hit it with your next disappointment, or number 2 disappointment.
Well, I guess I'll talk about the disappointing, and I'll tie it into the one that you just said. But I'll turn it a little, saying that my biggest disappointment is that Nintendo doesn't really seem to care about E3 anymore, or not to the extent that they have in the past. So of course, they don't really have a big conference, or they had no conference at E3. The only thing that they had was the direct that they showed. They had the Treehouse, and they had the tournament. So basically what they're using the stage for is not for any conferences, it's for the tournaments themselves. And it seems like, of course, since E3 has been open to the public, then that seems to be the biggest draw, because people want to go there and they want to play games. And of course, you know how competitive video gamers are. So you want to go there and try to show how much better you are than everybody else. So, tournaments are a big draw. They had the Splatoon 2 tournament, and they had the Smash Brothers Ultimate tournament as well. So I can understand that. And as a Nintendo fan, I've come to accept it. And it's one of the reasons why it's going to be hard for Nintendo to win an E3 going forward, because they're not like putting all their eggs at E3. They know that they have the Nintendo Directs. They can release those at any time of the year, and they're going to get a lot of exposure, almost like its own E3 presentation. So they already said it. They said that they have more games that they haven't shown, that they're probably saving those for another Direct. And I can fully expect another Direct to happen maybe 2 months, 3 months from now. It's kind of like why I was disappointed about so much exposure about Smash, because I felt like before Smash releases in December, they're going to have a Smash Direct detailing certain things. So, like they do for their big releases. But that's, in a way, my biggest disappointment is that Nintendo doesn't really care about E3 like the other companies do. But at the same time, I can understand why, because the Nintendo Directs are so successful and they work great. They don't have to worry about anything going wrong, any technical and any Wii Music fiascos or anything like that. So it's a controlled environment. They can deliver their message without anything really going wrong. And I know that even though they had a Direct at E3, like a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months from now, there's going to be another one showing us even more games that we still haven't seen, and that they could have shown at E3. So that's probably my take on that.
Okay. So with that said, Caleones, let's move to our our last exciting thing that we thought from E3, right? Of Nintendo, what they did on this E3. And then with that, we can end Hot Topics, and then we can go to the rapid fire topics, because, of course, it's 44 minutes in. I'm doing the time check, guys. I have control. I keep this podcast in check. Anyway, But with that said, Caleones, there's a couple of things that I'm excited. So I'm gonna do like my last one, like a couple of little things united in one, right? I will say I'm happy that I heard the Octopath Traveler they mentioned on E3 that it will not have any DLC. So what you're getting with this game, Caleones, is the full game. And I love those like announcements. Even though I love the expansion pack for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, to clarify, because it feels like a 2.5, and that's why I'm excited about. I'm always also gets excited gamers like God of War or this one where the director comes out and says, nope, this is what you get. You pay for this, and this is what you get. No DLC bullshit. I'm just old school like that, Caleones. It's just me being old, I guess, and grumpy. And to clarify, today's my birthday, so I'm turned 38 today. So happy birthday to me. So you guys will see that I'm old as hell, and that means that I like old school way of gaming. So I want to give that one a shout out, and the other one that I want to give a shout out to is, I would say, I'm trying to think. I'm reading the list right now here, right? So I'm trying to get to, but I guess you know what? Even if they overkill it, Smash looked good. I'm happy that Shulk is back. So I have to say that I'm excited that Shulk is there. But could that be
not only Shulk, but
every character ever? Cloud,
yeah.
Snake, yeah. But it could be as a disappointment too. It could be that again they're already saying that you're not gonna get much new characters, but we shall see. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't have anything else big. You probably have more stuff that you'll be excited about, but I want to say Octopath Traveler again. This game's coming out. Try to promote it. The demo is out. Go support it. What you buy is what you get, and it's all in one nice package. So go ahead, Caleones, and tell us your last exciting thing that you like Nintendo did this E3.
Well, I guess I'll say that the most exciting thing about Nintendo and what happened at E3.
Thank you. More beer.
Yeah, it's probably that they are gonna have a pretty good E3 in 2019, and I'm saying that because we still haven't seen the Metroid Prime 4, so we haven't seen that one. We haven't seen Shin Megami Tensei 5. We haven't seen Animal Crossing. We haven't seen Luigi's Mansion 3. We haven't seen the Pikmin 4. We haven't seen any of those games, and it seems like none of those games are going to be coming out this year. Even Yoshi got pushed over to 2019. So Nintendo already has Fire Emblem. The Three Houses is going to come out in 2019 as well. And even Tales of Vesperia, even though it is a port, but Nintendo Switch is going to be getting it as well. So it seems like the 2019 lineup is building up to be good, or could be great depending on if those games make it. And of course, Nintendo is going to be writing this year's Smash, and is going to be writing Pokemon game as well. So I mean, I feel very confident about Nintendo's 2019 lineup. I'm not exactly sure if I feel Nintendo has done enough in 2018 with the games that are going to be releasing. There's still other smaller games, like we said, like the like the Yokai Watch, the Ace Attorneys, Professor Layton's, like Snack Worlds, Inazuma 11, like those type of games. I'm expecting those or most of those to release in 2018 to kind of like fill the schedule. But I feel very confident about Nintendo's first party lineup for 2019, and that's probably my biggest takeaway from it.
Okay, we shall see next year. But it's funny. This is how not good, I guess, of an E3 Nintendo had when you have to say that you're excited about next year's E3. But it's all good, Caleones. We shall see next year. Maybe they bring the thunder. Or again, what you were saying, maybe they don't care of E3 as much. I still think they do, in a sense, because you show that they care last year because they were trying to sell you the Switch. Their mode now is how to maintain the Switch. So maybe their mindset now, let's have reveals during the year because we just want to keep the hype going along. We're not trying to sell the Switch. You're already buying the Switch. We just need to tell you why you need to keep buying games on the Switch, right? So I don't know. We shall see. But we're done with Hot Topics. Oh my God, that was a lot. Close to 50 minutes. So we're going to hit it with rapid fire. And of course, we're going to Onuma's news burst. Caleones, What is the first piece of news? Oh well, the next piece of news.
Well, and we're going to try to do this quick because we're at 50 minutes right now. But the first one is that Reggie says that Fortnite has already been downloaded over 2 million times on the Nintendo Switch, and this news actually came on the 13th. So it's not today's news. That was 3 days ago. So right now, I'm pretty sure a lot more people have downloaded it. But by that time, it was the 13th, and that was the following day. From from the direct. So that's 2 million people already downloaded Fortnite. Like, is that a big deal to you?
It's not a big deal in the sense that I don't like Fortnite, but I think it's a good number. I mean, this is the biggest game going on right now, and a lot of people who downloaded the Switch version is because they wanted portable. Like I said, this is the ultimate portable edition of Fortnite. You have physical buttons, physical controllers, have to deal with the touch bullshit. So it makes sense. I'm good at 2 million. Hey, good job, Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay. Going over with the next one, and is that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC seems to be getting a physical release. You already did touch upon this, but the expansion seems to be so big that it will have a physical release as well.
Yep. Keep going. We mentioned that, so.
Okay, next one is that the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 DLC enables you to play as a blade and as a driver. And you were talking about, you could probably talk a little bit more about this, how you can do certain combos and things like that, just so people can get a better picture of it.
So I'll give you an example. So in the last game, depending on the blade that you would switch, you have 3 blades, basically. And then depending on the blade that you would switch, you would, you have certain status effects. You could do a break, topple, launch, and smash. But in this game, since the battle system will change in the sense that you're going to only have one blade attached to you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to use both the blade and the driver. So each blade and driver will have the combo. So to give you an example, the driver could have used break, and then you switch to your blade, and the blade comes in to attack, and then he can use the topple. But then you keep using the blade, and he has his own arts. And when you use the driver has its own arts. So it's going to change a little bit. I don't think it's like a huge change, but again, this shows you the passion about this expansion pack. Because basically you're getting a new game with new battle mechanics, and to clarify, I didn't even mention it, you're getting new music too, new composition. Like, what the hell they're doing? So hey, I'm all for it. I'm in Nintendo. I got December separated just for you. I want to be playing Xenoblade Chronicles this December again, and I think that's no better way to spend December than playing some Xenoblade Chronicles. But yeah, this is a little bit of change. Exciting. So.
Okay, next one is that Shulk and Fiora are playable blades in the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Challenge Mode DLC.
Yep. Okay, that's another thing that has me itching. I still want to finish the plat for Detroit Become Human, but I'm almost turned my Switch a couple of times. Like, I just want to get Shulk and Fiora and just use them as blades for a little bit. I'm holding Caleones. We shall see if I break down at some point.
Okay, moving on with the next one, and it's that in Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé hits back at analysts as stock declines. So, I mean, if you guys have heard in the last couple of days, Nintendo stock has been taking a hit, and it has taken a pretty big one. There's one day it went down 7%, another one 5%, and nobody really can predict or know why it is that it's been declining.
I don't get it, because I think they're doing pretty well. But okay, keep going, Cummings.
Yeah, so I mean, so one of the things that they're saying is that because they didn't really show enough games, or maybe Nintendo Labo is not doing as great as people believe. But Reggie did say that, and this is coming from him, and I quote, "As you look at Nintendo over this many years, if you look at the number of analysts who have actually gotten it right, it's fairly small. And it's because we as a company, we hold things close to the vest. We love to surprise the overall community and environment, and when we surprise big." So that's telling you, and I mean he actually did say it in a different instance as well, that there's certain games that they haven't shown, there's certain things that they're keeping as a surprise, and there's certain reveals that they're not ready to show until maybe another direct or something like that. So when it comes to the investors and those people, they don't really know what Nintendo is doing as a company. They're kind of like you and me. except for that they have put money into the company, and of course they want their stocks to increase, so they get more money or more value out of it. But they don't know what Nintendo is doing, and Nintendo, it sounds like they're pretty confident with what they have. They're just not gonna be sharing it just because the stock price is taking a hit. So we shall see. Today it did go up a little over 1%. So hopefully it stabilizes and it doesn't really continue going down.
So S Gunner asked on the chat question: how much is both expansions for Xenoblade Chronicles 2? So if you get just the digital version, it's $30. If you buy the physical version, it's $40. But those $40 include the expansion pack. It's just you're gonna have your cartridge to play the Torna, the Golden Country. So whichever works for you. I prefer the physical version. I'm basically paying $70 for this, but I think it's worth it for me. But I want the physical version because I want to keep my storage down on the Switch as much as I can, right? But yeah, that's the down on the price. So going back to the stock, I'm just gonna go quick mention. I don't get it. I don't know much about stock, but I can tell you historically, stock goes up and down. I think Nintendo is a healthy company. I think they're gonna take hits sometimes, and they're gonna go down, and they're gonna make some announcements. They're gonna go up. That is the part of life, and I think Nintendo is doing pretty well. I don't think it's a big deal right now. They're losing. I think they were running in an all-time high because of the success of the Switch. That's coming down, and yeah, maybe the investors are losing a little bit of faith. Maybe Labo did not deliver, but there's some news that Nintendo's saying that the Labo met expectations. But companies say that all the time. Hey, Sony met expectations with the VR, but right now they're not calling it successful. So I'm just saying that because they met expectation at first doesn't mean that it's gonna last long. Maybe there's numbers that are coming in. They're saying no, Labo wasn't that big because I remember the stock did went up when Labo was announced. So a lot of people were saying, oh my god, this is gonna sell like hotcakes. This is gonna be the next big thing. And honestly, it did not come out that way, guys. It feels like Labo is kind of like and dead. And that maybe make those investors go, oh no, that this not worked out. Let's go out. So I think Labo to me is the biggest reason why. And again, maybe because they have a banging lineup this year like they had last year. Yes, they'll have Smash, which is fine, but they have a lot of ports this year. And you say, well, you have Smash and you have Pokemon. Pokemon's going to be big. I am not denying that Pokemon is going to be big, Caleones, but that is not a AAA game. That's what I'm saying. That is not a AAA game. So great, it's going to sell like gangbusters, but I think the lineup this year, and now that we know kind of the roadmap where we are, it's weak compared to last year. But again, like I was explaining, it makes sense last year to be strong because you need to sell Switches. You're coming out of the gate. You need to bring your big hitters. And they basically put every big hitter last year with Splatoon 2, Mario Kart, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey. That was just a stack lineup. Those 4 games typically come out during the generation separate, and they all came out in the same year, so it makes the next year looks a little bit weaker. That's the problem. But anyway, just giving my 2 cents on the stock.
Yeah, and that was one of the other news that we had, which it was, Reggie talking about how the Nintendo Labo has absolutely met their expectations. And this is in an interview that he had with Forbes. So, I mean, the way that I see Nintendo Labo basically is, and he described it. He said it was kind of like a Wii Fit or like a Brain Age type of game. And I feel like even though Labo was released in April, its real value is going to be seen in December. December, I think, is when they're going to move a lot more units from Labo. That's when kids are going to get in their Christmas presents, and that's one of the I guess it's one of the highlights, because even though it's not really a game that you're going to be playing much, but the whole experience of like opening the boxes and putting it together and building it and doing that as a family, that's to me that's one of the biggest values of it. And I believe December is when it's gonna get an uptick, and I wouldn't be surprised if they release another pack in time for the holidays as well. So or maybe even bring the other ones down a little, maybe some sort of discount or something like that. So I believe that Labo is here to stay, is here for the long run. If they're spending any money, it's more so on like storing it, because the boxes are pretty big, but the content, which is the cardboard, that costs next to nothing, for Nintendo. So they're still making bank when it comes to those. And and I do expect to see more.
We shall see. Go ahead, Caleones, with the next news.
Okay, next one is that the Octopath Traveler won't have any DLC. So the Octopath Traveler producer Masashi Takahashi said that the product version is the finished product, meaning that what you get, that's going to be it. You're not going to be worried about getting any DLC, any expansion, or anything else. That's going to be the whole game. We still don't know how long the game's going to be, even though we heard certain rumors and stuff. But the game to me looks awesome. It's how I hope that games like Final Fantasy VI will be ported over to the Switch. Because and the other news is that at E3 they did release a new demo for Octopath Traveler. So if you guys haven't played it, go ahead and download it and just get to experience the game, because the game does look amazing.
Hey, Dantes the Gamer, thank you for joining us. Anyway, go ahead with the next one, Caleones.
Okay, next piece of news is that Nintendo considers the Virtual Console's successor to be the Nintendo Switch Online. And this is with I guess an interview with IGN, Reggie Fils-Aimé said the Virtual Console successor is Nintendo Switch Online, right? With the mentality that says we're going to be offering a slate of games, and it's a slate that's going to increase over time. For many of these games, there's going to be additional online capability provided in those games. That's the vision we have for how to best bring our legacy content to the Nintendo Switch. So you know how certain people, they've bought Mario 64 probably 3, 4, 5, 6 different times, maybe on the Wii, on the Wii U, on the 3DS, or those. So and the games, they weren't necessarily cheap when it comes to those, because yes, you had I think it was the Nintendo Super Nintendo games, or Nintendo games for like $5, Super Nintendo games for like $7, and N64 games for $10. I believe that was a price point, but at least to me, and this is my opinion, with the Nintendo Switch Online, those games will have additional capabilities. So if you're spending money to get them, or if they're part of the lineup that you can download and play for free, you get more out of it than if you were just getting this the normal game or the original game. So any comments that you have towards this?
Nope, I just saying I told you so. We spoke, what was it, like a couple of months ago when they announced the Virtual Console was dead, and we were saying, guys, take it easy. It's gonna get evolved. This is gonna be the new games that are coming out, the ones that have online, and what they're announcing. That's gonna be your Virtual Console. But people were freaking out. Just people need to stop freaking out sometimes. There's stuff out there that you should be fighting for. Like, even example, Sony holding hostage your Fortnite account. That's something that you should be fighting for. But for your Virtual Console, they're coming, guys. Come on. And maybe, they're trying to hold it on a little bit because they're trying to sell you your Super NES Mini and your NES Mini and all that stuff, right? So it's a business move, but also they're going to bring new games, different type of games. New games to the Virtual Console or whatever it's called, with online capabilities, stuff like that. So that takes time too. And right now, honestly, myself, I don't have time to play old games. So that's why stuff like backward compatibility or PlayStation Now or stuff like that, or Virtual Console, are like, I have my Retron 5. If I need to play old games, I'm going to buy it physically, because that's what I like, collect physical games. But I don't even have time sometimes to play those old games back. So, maybe when I'm retired, if I get to retire at 55, I'm just going to play games all day long.
Okay, so moving over to the next one, and this is one that I'm actually part of the campaign. I've been like on Twitter asking for it, or pretty much begging for it. But Nier Automata is still a slight possibility on the Nintendo Switch, according to the developers. Basically, they stated, like other developers have said, like if they feel like there's enough people asking for the game, then they'll go ahead and bring it out to the Switch. They're not working on it right now. They're not developing it, but they said that if there's enough demand, that they will be bringing it. And I've been doing my part on Twitter as well. So hopefully they know that there is demand for the game.
Okay, go ahead, Caleones, with the next one.
Okay, going over to the next one. This is the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be 1080p 60 frames per second when docked, and 720p 60 frames per second when used in handheld mode. There was actually it was on the Nintendo of Japan's website, so it was confirmed on the official Nintendo of Japan's website. And I guess for a fighting game, you really want it to be 60 frames per second. But I'm glad that they have the 1080p option when you have it docked.
Great, that's what you need to be. Sweet mark, 60 frames per second. Go ahead, Caleones.
Okay, and we're actually on the last piece of news, and this is that the Spyro Reignited developer Toys for Bob says that we are not talking about anything else right now, and this is when they were asked about a Switch version for the game. So you did mention that that was one of your biggest disappointments about not seeing Spyro on the Direct. And it seems like they're not either. It's not being made. Maybe the announcement is being held for for a later time. It did happen with Crash. That Crash was announced as a console exclusive or timed exclusive for the PS4, even though they really didn't specifically say that. But it ended up being a timed exclusive.
Yeah, but that's
hopefully
different,
it'll be the same case
because this one was announced from the start to have a Xbox version. That's why it's a little bit disappointing. It doesn't make sense at all. Why you won't have a Switch version rolling right now? But it is what it is.
But that's basically it. We are done with the news. We are done with everything right now.
Yeah, I forgot to give you the Shigeru's mini market or supermarket.
Shigeru's supermarket, and I do have it over here.
Oh, you have it? Okay, let's do the sound effects then. Go to Shigeru's supermarket, Caleones.
Okay, and the games that we have releasing for this week, we have Jolt, Tennis World Tour. We had Paladins Founders Pack, Hexalogic, Alchemic Jousts, Hollow Knight, Fortnite, Bloons TD5, Whip Whip, Sucker Slammers, RBI Baseball 18, Pub Encounter, Moor Hunt Remake, Mahjong Deluxe 3, Lanota, Chameleon Run Deluxe Edition, Beaker Reloaded, Arcade Archives Donkey Kong, Super Psychics 3, The Next Glory, 1917 The Alien Invasion DX, Lego The Incredibles, and those are the games for the week.
What was your game of the week, Caleones? I'm guessing it starts with an F and ends with Night.
Well, I mean, I've been helping my son level up his character, so that's why I've been playing it a lot. But yes, we even had this Friday we had our first official Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch stream. Quite a few people did join in. I'm glad the game is a success on the system, and even though it's a free-to-play game, it's the type of game that actually helps moves consoles. So hopefully it's going to help Nintendo sell more consoles, because you have people that they want to play the game, but they also want to play the game on the go, and they feel like you said, this is the way that you can have proper controls on the go for Fortnite. And there's been certain cases where we were going to a dentist appointment. I had my hotspot on my iPhone on, and my daughter and son, they had the Nintendo Switch, and they were playing Fortnite online, partying up together and playing with other people as well. Because it does, that's the great thing about Nintendo and the Switch, and they give you that advantage that other systems cannot. So that's why we have been enjoying it, and it is the game of the week.
Okay. Thank you for that, Caleones. And I think it's time to end the show because we went overtime. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes, but it was a fun show to do, talking about what we're excited about E3. Join us tomorrow, because tomorrow is Royal Rumble, baby. Tomorrow it's time to duke it out. And then we're going to have some interesting discussion.
There can be only one.
There can be only one. And we're going to have some interesting discussions, I think, tomorrow. So join us for that. Force In Unison Live. But with that said, let's click it. There you go, some Xenoblade music. We'll see what new music we're going to get with the expansion. But I want to thank everybody for coming through and watching the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast, episode 49. right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MS happy. Also remember, if you don't want to see ugly faces, Caleones, it's all good. We just got a solution for you. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and download that podcast for free. Rate us over there so you can show up some love. Also, go to the description box below because we got a lot of content for you. Mondays, PlayStation Monday, where myself will play a little bit of PlayStation for your entertainment. This Monday I'm playing God of War, so join us through that. And then the following Monday we'll be back to Detroit Become Human. Wednesdays, of course, we got Streaming Wednesday, where Caleones and Inkling G play a little bit of Splatoon for your entertainment. And of course, now on Friday, officially, the Toys and More Club crew are back, better than ever, because they're going to be playing a little bit of Fortnite for your entertainment. Also, we got a Facebook page, Caleones, and it's called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chigurosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caleones. With all that said, thank you again for joining us. Long live Nintendo. Good night, everybody, and thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining us. And yes, the test fell. Good night, everybody.